Hey, Lions Nation! We're back with another exclusive video bringing you all the latest news about our beloved Detroit Lions. Before we get started, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss anything about the team now. Let's get into the news. Ford Field did not simply brighten when TYREEK Hill arrived, it convulsed. The stadium's lighting system, usually cold and unwavering, flickered as though startled awake by something that moved too fast for the electrical grid to comprehend. In this alternate universe, TYREEK wasn't just a receiver, he was velocity made flesh. A creature woven from strands of lightning and sharpened by the kind of hunger that makes men outrun their own shadows. The moment he stepped inside the facility, the air bent around him. Oxygen didn't flow, it recoiled. Staff members froze mid-step, as if someone had pressed a universal pause button at the exact instant his presence sliced through the building. Cameras stuttered, electronic monitors glitched. A gust of wind whipped through the hall despite every door being closed, carrying the faint scent of burnt ozone. The nickname he carried, Cheetah, felt almost childish compared to what truly stalked behind his eyes, a force too fast, too precise, too predatory to be contained in mere syllables. His arrival wasn't a signing, it was an ignition. Detroit had summoned something volatile, something the field itself felt unprepared to handle. Coaches traded wary glances as he passed, aware that their playbook now had to accommodate a weapon capable of bending space. Players stood in clusters, their whispers frantic, breath catching in their throats as they watched him glide across the room with unnatural, slithering grace. Even Dan Campbell, here, larger than life, worn by battles both physical and emotional, kept his distance for a moment, measuring the storm he had allowed through the gates. When TYREEK finally turned his head, his eyes locked onto Campbell's, and for an instant the room dimmed, shadows stretching long across the floor as though pulled toward him. "You ready?" Campbell asked, voice low, almost reverent. TYREEK didn't smile. He didn't blink. He simply nodded, a single motion that made the lights above buzz violently, flickering like terrified insects as he walked toward the locker room. The ground beneath him seemed to vibrate in anticipation. Somewhere deep within the stadium's concrete gut, the hum of old wiring grew louder, pulsing in sync with his heartbeat. Detroit had always embraced grit, toughness, survival, but now it felt something new, something dangerous. A predator had stepped inside the den, and the stadium, this cathedral of noise and steel, recognized its new apex. Cheetah was in the city, and every corridor of Ford Field trembled with the understanding that the game would never move at the same speed again. Before we move on, take a second to drop a like and subscribe. That way, you'll stay up to date with every exclusive Lions update, and you'll even have a chance to win an official Detroit Lions jersey. Let's keep going. His first steps onto the turf were not steps at all. They were ruptures. The field, usually tranquil during off hours, reacted to his presence like water disturbed by a dropped blade. The artificial grass stirred, as if bending towards him in submission, and the massive dome above seemed to inhale sharply, lights shifting from white to a faint electric blue that bathed the field in a predatory glow. Players gathered along the sidelines, huddled like witnesses awaiting the arrival of a force of nature. The stadium felt colder and hotter at the same time, air vibrating with the same frequency that precedes lightning strikes. When TYREEK crouched at the line of scrimmage for his first unofficial rep, the world around him tightened, sound collapsing into a suffocating silence, and then he moved, not ran, moved. A blur, pure acceleration that tore through the space-time between him and the end zone. The human eye couldn't track him, only the afterimage remained, trailing behind like the ghost of a flame. The echo of his footfalls hit a heartbeat later, a delayed thunder that cracked across Ford Field, like the snarl of an angry god. Quarterbacks watching from the sideline exchanged horrified, exhilarated stares, because how do you throw to someone who outruns vision itself? The defensive backs trying to cover him felt something primitive claw at their throats, prey instinct. TYREEK didn't celebrate his run. He didn't comment. He merely walked back with the calm of a creature accustomed to outrunning storms. Dan Campbell approached slowly, as if nearing a live wire. "You're going to burn this league down," he murmured. TYREEK finally cracked a smile, but it wasn't joyful. It was sharp, hungry, the kind of smile predators wear before the chase. The next rep, he didn't wait for a snap count. He simply inhaled, the air humming around him, and exploded again, each stride tearing the field open. Linemen felt the vibrations through their cleats. Coaches clutched clipboards tighter. Cameras failed to keep up. footage smearing into streaks of white and blue by the time he finished his fifth route. The building itself seemed to sweat, condensation forming on steel beams overhead. The legend of Detroit's rising offense had transformed into something mythic, monstrous, inevitable. TYREEK Hill Cheetah had arrived not to complement the attack, but to redefine it. Ford Field pulsed with new life, with terror, with awe, with the electric heartbeat of a predator unleashed and somewhere beyond Detroit. Defensive coordinators felt a chill crawl down their spines. Though they could not yet explain why, but they would. When the season began and the first snap echoed across Ford Field, they would understand the truth that Detroit now carried like a secret flame. You cannot defend what you cannot see, and you cannot stop what has already outrun you the moment it decides to hunt. We bring you the latest Lions news every single day, so make sure you're subscribed. Hit that like button and turn on notifications so you don't miss a thing. And of course, drop a comment below with your thoughts on today's news. Your voice makes a difference for Lions Nation. See you in the next video.